Hello everyone, in today's video tutorial we are going to look at how we can insert the action buttons into the different slides that we have in our presentation file. So these action buttons help us for linking purposes, in that if you want to link the first slide to the second slide, you can decide to insert the action button into this slide. Then when that action button is clicked, or when you move the mouse pointer over it, then you will be in position to be taken to that next slide. So to access these action buttons, we go to the Insert tab. From the Insert tab, we work with the Illustrations group, but we shall click on this Shapes button. When you click on the Shapes button, you will move your mouse pointer to the bottom part of this menu that we see on our screen. And on the bottom part of this menu, we can see that we have got the Action Buttons option. So from this Action Buttons option, we can see we have got the action button that can take you back or to the previous slide that you have in your presentation. So what we have to know is that these action buttons are predefined. They are already available in the program that we are working with. Then we have got this action button that can take you to the next slide. Then you have this one that can take you to the beginning of the slide, and this one which can take you to the end of the slide, and these other different action buttons as we can see from the screen. Now assuming you would like to link this slide 1 to slide 2. So to link this slide 1 to slide 2 with the help of the action buttons, you will come and click on this action button, which helps us to go forward or to the next slide. So I will click on it. When you click on it, your pointer changes into that plus symbol. So from here, it means that you can go ahead and draw that very action button that you have selected. So since we want to link this slide to the next slide, we shall just come and draw it from this side. Click, hold, and then try to move the mouse button. So after drawing, you release the mouse piece. So when you release the mouse piece, the action button is drawn, and also at the same time we see that we have this action settings dialog box. From this action settings dialog box, you will specify how do you want to go to the next slide when you're working with this action button. Do you want to click on this action button? That is why we see mouse click. Do you want to move your mouse pointer over that action button? That's why we see mouse over. That when you just point on it without clicking, then you'll be taken to the next slide. But if you want to just click, then you use this mouse click. So that means that you only move to the next slide. That is when you have clicked on the action button that you have in your slide. Then this one, they all have the same functions, only that here you will only move the mouse pointer on the action button in your presentation file. Then you will be taken to the next slide. So we want to work with this one of mouse click. So on mouse click, we are saying that action on click should be that when we click on this action button, then we are hyperlinked or taken to the next slide. So this is what we want. So we shall say yes. We click on OK. So when we click on OK, we can see no changes from this button. But to view the changes, you have to open your presentation or your slide in the slide show view. So we shall click on slide show button. So when we click on the slide show button and we move to this action button that we inserted in the slide, we can now see that our pointer changes to some other feature indicating that there is a hyperlink on this button. So when you click on it, you will be taken to the next slide. So that is how you can work with that forward or next slide action button. So I will go back by pressing on the escape key. So we want to add another action button in this area to take us to the previous or to take us back. To do that, you will do the same. From the insert tab, click on shapes, then go to action buttons, click on this action button that takes you back or to previous slide, then just come and draw it within your slide. After drawing it, you will have this action settings dialog box. Just like we saw, we have two options, mouse click and then mouse over. So we are saying on action, we are saying hyperlink to previous. So this previous is automatically selected because these action buttons are predefined. So we shall say OK. Then to go to this other slide, we click, then we insert our action button. So we shall go to this one for action button forward, click, then we come and draw it. So after drawing, it will show you next slide because that is the work of this action button that we have selected. Then click on OK. Then let's put one more. So we click on it, then we can come and then we draw our action button there. Then it will show you previous because it is a predefined action button. So we shall say OK. Now let's go to our first slide, then we go to the slideshow view. So I will click on this button to go to the next. So when you click, you see we are taken to the next. Then when I click on this, we expect to go back to the previous slide. So you can see that we are on the previous slide. So that is how you can work with these action buttons in your slides in the presentation file. So there are other options that you can work with still when you decide to insert an action button. So when you click, then you come and draw. When you draw, you can see we have got these other options as we can see from the screen. I just encourage you to try to work with this option for mouse over and see how they can apply to these slides or how they can work. So if you say mouse over and you say hyperlink, you want it to go to the next slide, then you click on OK. So you can see even before we can click on OK, you can decide also to play sound if you want. That is by clicking on play sound. Then after you come and select that sound that you want, then click on OK. Now when you click on OK, we go to this slideshow button. So when we click on slideshow button, we shall go. I've just moved the mouse pointer over that action button without clicking, and you have seen what has happened. We also decided to set the sound to be played, and you have heard the sound. So that's how you can work with those action buttons in your presentation file. I just encourage you to try the other options that we have not talked about. That's it for now. See you in our next tutorial.